Beards on Breen. Beards on Breen. Beards on Breen. Beards on Breen.
All right, Chapter 4, Disc 1. Moving to film production. What's that going to entail? I don't know. So we'll find out.
In this section, I'm going to be discussing film production. Film production relative to the way I do it and the scale that I work at.
Well, of course.
I shoot, but you really have to have that laid out. And that's the
So
only
is he
way
more
you'll
thinking of like
make
pre-production?
it happen efficiently. That's principal photography only.
It's kind of a smear of
It doesn't include
actual
anything
production and
prior to that
pre-production.
or anything after that. Post-production takes a very long time.
Okay, now he's talking post-production. Well,
Pre-production takes
I should have looked to see. I should have wrote again. See, this is where I should have my little index cards and should have wrote down
days, give or take. And that's
the chapters,
shooting 10-hour
titles.
days. Sort of 3 or 4 takes is sort of my limit.
3 to 4
And
takes.
then I move on to the next shot. If you get hung up in shooting something for 10 or 15 takes, something's gone wrong, either with the cast or technically or whatever, but you can't take that much time. Stay away from static, still shots.
Unless they're interesting. I mean, I don't know. I've seen some static shots. Well, he's saying that as he's on a static shot of him talking about,
my filmmaking
and pretty much all these shots are static shots.
is, once again,
Well, they are
very
not pretty much. There's nothing
standard.
is. I mean, I know this is for
What I've learned over 5
educational
films
purposes, but
is that I really
I mean, you could have put in clips,
you
like
really
examples.
don't
It's
need
he owns the movies. It's not as though he
you'll
couldn't
see
use
independent
clips during
films
that
out
part,
there.
as
Once
opposed to
again,
freeze framing it and then explaining
Something
that you
about
have to
film.
have.
This is me
more than
and
just
my
stills.
expensive, elaborate, on location
Okay, so now here we have
models.
location
These
stills, which is
pictures
great.
are
Okay,
in
you
various
can stop
stages
using that
in
green screen
various
one that
films.
we've seen 4 times
It's
now.
not my
5
intention
times.
to teach you how I did every shot in all of my films. That would take many, many, many hours.
You've said that before.
This is intended to be an overview
Oh.
to show you the successful
So now he's
film
making introduction
quality product
statements
that you can
when we're
produce
already
on a
in chapter
relatively
4.
small scale at a relatively low production budget.
Why are you
As you
repeating
can
yourself?
see, this is a
These chapters are not
green
standalone.
screen soundstage that I rented in Los Angeles. Blocking the shot out right now.
You could explain what blocking is, Neil, too.
This is another exterior location for Twisted
I want my
Pair.
159.95
Bodies
value.
on the, I could really focus on
Now,
the
he's showing a
key
lot
light
of
that I
the stuff
wanted.
about the lighting.
This is from Double Down. I shot Double Down on the 35 millimeter. This is
Even though I think
one
there's
of
a separate
the,
chapter that is just for
locations,
lighting.
for Twisted Pair, the exterior.
So we're
camera.
we're gonna get more redundancy, but a lot of this is pretty cool to see behind the scenes.
This is the interior shot.
There's his
where I
his
was
kitty cats
manipulating the mice with magnets from
or
below.
mice.
This is the levitation shot.
He's calling these
special
mice?
effect shot, which we'll discuss later. This
I mean,
is
I
sort of
guess.
representative of
I always thought they were
every
cats, but
interior set that I've ever
maybe
worked
that's why
on.
this one
It's
was so
just
hard
a
to find.
Mosh pit of C-stands and cameras
Mosh pit.
and lights from Twisted Pair.
you talk about blocking a lot. You need to explain what blocking is, Neil.
But once again,
If you're talking to people that
capitalizing on
are
the
just,
existing lighting, which
looking to
fortunately
learn
we didn't
something.
have to color correct, and
Is the
adding about 3 of our own
camera
lights
person
to
Coos?
give me the accents on the metal
That sure looks like
cables
him.
that I was looking for.
Again, you got to explain what blocking out the scene means. Also, it'd be good if it showed like clips, like he said. Well, this is the scene where we were
Shadow
walking down the
of
hallway
girl
that we're setting up for.
inside. Many times when you're shooting inside,
because then you get the
you'll have to
other
lock out
angle of it.
windows. Every one of my
So there it is, confirmed that the
scenes,
hospital
I
bed
use light
in
pattern
Fateful Findings
makers on
was in his
the
home.
scene. I'm not a big fan of flat lighting at all.
He doesn't like flat lighting.
Here
I'm
using the
completely
lights
flat
from the
in this
computer
room.
screens to light,
I mean, great to have
people
more dynamic
in the scene.
backlighting
I
and
use the slide,
things like
the
that,
camera
but
slide a lot. It gives the scene some movement and some relief versus a static
I'm just a
camera.
little
This is me lighting
podcasting. Maybe it's
the orange
sometime down the
chairs,
road I might
twisted
tweak with
pair,
it, tweak a
and
few
the
things.
Men in Black, the effect
Yeah, he's going a
was
lot through the lighting
great.
techniques.
It had a real rich look to it.
Because I
Use
swear
your
he has another
imagination, be creative.
chapter that's just lighting.
I think we've seen this before.
He,
This is the
he
35
even said, I
millimeter
think we've seen
camera.
this before. Then why even include it again and say exactly the same thing? Just don't
Staging
continue to
area
put it in there.
for
It's like he
diffuser
put
boards,
a
light boards,
dropped all this stuff into
casting
slideshow and
crew,
press play
prepping
on
for
like on
shot.
random and then press
This
play.
is a Steadicam that I rented.
But there's a
in LA.
lot of behind the scenes
There's the
pictures
dolly.
and some video footage too. I've not seen probably
This is, once
90%
again,
of these,
many,
and especially with all
green
these the
screens.
video behind the
I
scene
own my
video
own
footage
green
for
screen,
Twisted Pair. I've not seen any of this.
rented in LA.
I mean, to see how they're
Here we are
using
preparing,
practical
for a
locations
soldier scene.
and bringing in the equipment, and then especially his house, because watching all his films, we start seeing the same rooms and start identifying the same couch and that sort of thing.
Various
To see how all that
occasions,
is set
the
up
crew,
and lit.
has the opportunity to work as extras,
Small spaces,
or
practical
cast members. And I found that
locations.
the crew and the cast are very
Inside, just a
willing to
regular house.
sort of swap
Not on a stage or anything, other than what he did,
cameras
like
sort of
what he's
out
been
of the
showing with
picture, this way in
the green
background
screen
on
that he
the
shot out in
lockdown.
L.A. I mean, yeah, from all this footage, it looks like he has very small pretty
Leaving
much all the films
at night.
that he's been showing behind the
Once
scenes
again,
footage
we're
of.
fortunate we didn't have to color correct any lighting.
Like maybe like 4 or 5 people, but then I don't know which one are actual the actors as well too. I mean, even some of these, it only looks like there's 2 people on the crew.
This is
And that's
the
including
green
Neil.
screen for the dissolve in Fateful Findings. Building in my home the black cube.
Wow.
That,
Yeah, there's
is used in Fateful
the black
Findings,
cube.
The large black cube, made from the black plastic material. There it is there.
Wow.
But we're setting,
I mean, I
we're setting
I
this
understand,
up.
like,
This shot
if
was
if you
fun,
can and you have the
I was
passion to
pretty
do it, to
successful
be
in the film.
the director,
effect that I was trying to
producer,
achieve.
script writer, catering, makeup,
All of
like
my shots
doing
I preview
pretty much
through
everything
this,
with
video
so you don't have to
assist
spend
large
that money if you're
monitor.
just able and willing to
I
do
set
it.
the monitor on the
But
video assist
even
that
at
I
this
use.
time that he was doing
But
Twisted
every
Pair,
shot,
I mean, there were
always look
people
at to make sure I'm getting what I want.
banging on his door to help him out for
Content point
nothing.
of view,
I
a
mean,
looks point of view, a
interns,
lighting point of view,
even,
a performance point of view, and so on. So
I mean, he said earlier when he was talking about scripts that he would,
the three person,
or maybe this is part of the introduction actually, that he would love to work
who a character is
with other people. My interpretation of what he was saying is, to polish up the script or help him work with the dialogue and things like that, but of what he already wrote. But I just I don't know. I don't see it happening. Up to this point, 5 films in, and then he's been trying to get investors for his next film, whatever that will be, if it'll be Twisted Pair 2 or something else. He really likes to be hands-on, and he can do it. So he's already proven that.
using the parallel slide
But all this stuff is really good. It's good to see
in the shot.
that they
Very
have all this
typical,
footage, that
very
they did
representative
a lot of this behind-the-scenes stuff.
this shockiness.
For the reason why he's doing this is to show people, the process, what it looks like on a set. So whoever was there with the little handy camera, if they're just doing it on their phone or whatever and just
Same as
capturing
Zeus, I just-
behind-the-scene footage,
shadows,
it's
another green
valuable.
screen.
It's great.
exterior cube
I mean, really, yeah, it was very invasive in his home,
for faithful.
kind of pulling back, from those scenes and
There
then
it is
seeing,
there.
where
A
the
lot of
camera is,
work
all the
I put
lighting,
into
all
this.
the
I built it
equipment,
myself, and
or even how invasive he
at the
was
university.
in his own neighborhood too, setting up stuff in the middle of the street. So they set up a green screen inside now he says a university. I was calling it a community college. I'm not too
and all
familiar with
the,
where it was
various
actually shot.
types
I
of
just
lighting that I
assumed.
use.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he used the LA soundstage green screen, the large one,
But,
for.
it was huge, and that's
That
what
he
I
wouldn't be able
wanted.
to perform
That's what I needed.
in the other ways that he's shown, especially at the
In
one
my
that was at the
future
university.
films, my
I'm sure it was probably for most of the like building explosion stuff, or where he's walking through the hallways.
This is
Twisted
taken
Pair.
from
I suppose then you don't have to worry about the space that you're in having that much coverage. All right, well that was film production. Yeah, no, that was really cool too. So that seeing all the behind the scenes stuff, like I said, I don't know. He talked about very specific things as well. Like I said, the lighting was mentioned a lot, or how he performed different lighting techniques, or what he used. And like I said, I think there is a chapter that is just about lighting. This next one is called Character Images. I don't know what that means, character images. But no, the last two chunks have been great. So I really enjoyed the scripts one. And then once they started showing all the behind the scenes, whether in still images or in video behind the scenes, and he was doing the voiceover for them, I don't think it was redundant as maybe other things were, but it did feel like he just kind of, everything was like in a slideshow, and then he was just talking over it. Well, which is fine, but it was really neat. There's a lot of stuff there I've never even seen, and glad that he was able to include or had pictures in the footage. I hope that wasn't all of it. I still got a little less than 4 more hours of this stuff to go. Okay, puzzling chapter title, Character Images, is next, and I'm curious as to what that is. What character images? I'm guessing, how do you build your character and the image of the character from the page to the screen? How does he? I guess the words escape me. I don't know if my brain is kind of melting here a little bit, but I'm guessing this is like how does he build his characters? Character images.
The retrospective is and what I'm presenting to you are character images in my films.
Okay, so it has to do with casting.
I have approached casting in all of my films very professionally.
Very professionally.
I've never used friends. I've never used family members. I have
No friends, no family members. I wonder if he saw our the View and Spew reviews, because that was one of the early things that we discussed, of whether or not it was friends and family members.
and resumes. I review all of those.
Or we thought, the people that do like summer stock or something. Obviously, people that will work for less than scale, because he's not.
Asked anyone.
This is not
to work. There's a SAG level.
SAG. That's
after level, union level.
right.
And I pay just below that level.
Just below it.
So it's not like I'm paying somebody some ridiculously low amount of money. I do all my own legal work, and I have an employment agreement that spells out everything that the cast member
I believe it,
or
Neil.
crew
Yeah.
is going to be doing, is responsible for, is liable for, protected against, etc.
Yeah, you got to protect your butt.
That covers everything. Symbols for something.
Symbols and metaphors,
that I
obscure
really want
objects.
the audience to think about.
I pretty much realized that he doesn't. he doesn't have to explain himself. He leaves everything open to interpretation, your own interpretation. And, why not? I mean, that's what I like about it. He's not going to talk about the black shoes. Man in Black. No, he just showing us clips. No narration over this. Huh. Man in the long black coat. Whatever you want to call him. Sure, Neil. Not that I expected him or expect him to answer any of those questions other than just...
Black, shiny shoes.
Yeah, black, shiny shoes. Unless he's going to, drop a big reveal, but that's not what this is. It's not a documentary. It's a retrospective. And he's very professional.
And all the very expensive and secret
Whoa,
technology
why is the frame
involved.
jumping like that?
The reality can be much more destructive.
It's like a
to
stabilization?
societies and
What the...
economies.
What is going on?
Going through these
okay, there
character
we go.
images once again.
Oh,
I'm
now
not
the
trying to
frame's
tell
jumping
a
again.
story. I'm just
There's the
military
denim vest.
medals on it, still intact. But I made this as well.
On a pink hanger. I love it.
This has been around a long time.
Okay, the character images portion is not as strong as the last two. I mean, these are just clips, essentially. Ooh, that was a bad cut. Bad edit. Yeah, like one frame of the next scene that didn't have to do with the next scene he wanted to put in for this retrospective. Anyway, it's okay, Neil. I mean, editing and writing a 5-hour retrospective, not documentary, in a professional way, some things are going to slip through the cracks. Okay, so now we're in I Am Here Now. So I'm wondering if this is going to be, oh my gosh, that was only the first film. So now we're into the second film. It's kind of like a highlight reel is what this has been. Cliff notes. The cliff notes. I don't know what this has to do with character images. I mean, we're seeing images of the characters, sure. But no insight as to... I know this is a retrospective, not a documentary, in a very professional way. You probably could have skipped this whole thing and just talked about casting as what you were talking about initially. Because what was it? The budget chapter was only a couple minutes, and that's probably what this could have been. If you just cut out the best of. I mean, we've seen the movies, so why... And if you haven't and you're watching this, kind of ruins it a bit, I guess, the impact of actually, watching the entire thing. I mean, even just like a simple narration over it that said, well, these are the, executives, and I tried to, find a certain da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 talk about the casting. All you're doing here is just eliminating the plot and showing different scenes that have people in it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this chapter. I'm trying to look at this as somebody, even with the general things that I know about filmmaking and what I've learned, it's not giving me insight. I'm trying to look at it a perspective of somebody that's either not made a movie before, or interested in the process, or even just interested in Neil Breen in general. Yeah, he's not saying anything right now. These are just scenes. And they're in chronological order, too, within each respective film. It's almost like he went on YouTube and then looked up Neil Breen highlight reel, best moments, and then just horked it and put it in here. Oh my God, it's still just the second film.
I will give them one strike.
Yeah, this right here is probably the most boring, just because it's not giving me any extra insight. And I've seen these movies so many times. And plus it's not adding anything to the quote, educational, unquote, side of it, or behind the scenes. These are just scenes. Yeah, this was the easiest part of his entire retrospective, not a documentary in a professional way, to just stick stuff in here. You should be talking about the people in the film. I guess I don't. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a full running commentary. Not expecting anything like that, but if you're talking about character and you're talking about the people that are acting in your films, why don't you say, oh, this doctor character that, you know, was so-and-so that was so-and-so that I found, you know, in a so-and-so at so-and-so. Character images is, other than the first, I don't know, minute or two where he was talking about the casting stuff, this is kind of a waste of time. It's kind of like a demo reel or like an investor reel. Well, even still too long at that point, too.
She killed him.
I have discovered more information than
Oh,
any
boy.
hunter ever has.
I'd just rather watch the movies.
Corporate systems and these...
Okay, what does the caveman drawing on the wall have to do with character images? Oh, I am so close to fast forwarding. Squirt, squirt, squirt. I don't know. Only because I'm sitting here and I'm forcing myself to watch it. I'm asking myself too many questions. I'm overanalyzing. I really don't have anything else to say. Whew, buggers. I think this is going to take us... there's another hour left. Well, an hour on this disc. Disc 1. But this character images, I don't see like how long the chapter actually is. It feels like it's been going on for a whole hour. I don't know why I'm still watching it and expecting something to be different. Yeah, I hope everybody had their tetanus shot recently. I think even just watching this again I'll need a tetanus shot.
Yes. From out there.
This chapter is crap. Yeah, so the whole chapter on character images, once they start showing the clips from every movie, that's where you can start the oven. No, yeah, I mean, don't stick your head in there or anything like that. I mean, this is the point where you can make a pizza or something, or maybe mix up some like cookie batter to make some cookies. I mean, this is a good 20-30 minutes. I'm guessing. This is really pushing my patience. Like, really pushing my patience.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm not going.
I mean, you know, I love the movies. They're great.
Oh, shit. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
The cleanse has
Now this has
begun.
been set up and how it's been, you know, I'm sounding like I'm sounding redundant as much as he was, but this chapter is completely useless. Oh yeah, so there they walk. Okay, yeah, down without that. Oh, giblets. So as we have learned earlier on the disc, especially during the film production portion. He's very proud of his lighting and very particular about his lighting. He doesn't like flat lighting. I think more when you get into Twisted Pair, you see a lot of the shadows, like kind of the film noir stripes of light. So this section is called lighting. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be the final 24 minutes of this first disc, but considering how particular he is about lighting and how he was already pretty particular into the specifics of lighting during the film production portion, we might be getting pretty deep here. So here we go. Lighting.
It's called lighting. And what I'm trying to present here is the importance of lighting and the effectiveness of dramatic lighting.
Dramatic lighting.
Lighting is critical
Critical.
to filmmaking for me.
For him.
Light bounce boards.
So I mean, this goes back to the film production stuff.
Light sources. I try to take advantage of all the existing lighting.
Yeah, I mean we're seeing some different stuff than what was in the film production, but
Here we're just
segment. But
blocking out the scene. But,
one of the
fortunately,
things
we have
that's
the color corrected
being left out. I mean, he says that he's the
and,
cinematographer on this, but he's not a camera operator.
Similar to this.
I don't remember. Does he have a
yes,
separate
shot
credit for
once again,
camera
for
op?
the
Because I keep seeing the
characters.
same
Once again,
guy.
I use
And I think maybe in some of
shadows,
our Beards on
patterns,
Breen
and
we
almost
did
all my
discuss,
interior
or I have
shots. This is really
noticed,
just a
there
staging
there
shot
have been like
showing
other
a
individuals
variety of
involved.
lighting,
But in order to
reflectors,
achieve all this
bounce
lighting and everything
boards,
that you
and
need,
so on that I used,
you also
obviously
have
they
to
weren't
set
all
up
used
the
in that
the
one
camera
shot.
correctly.
As
You know,
I've
choosing
used
the
many,
all the way
many
from choosing the
green
lens
screen
to the f-stop
configurations,
and
um,
shutter
that
speed
I
and
own or rent. This would be
is all
considered
dependent on the lighting
my
itself too.
Scope and scale. Garage door open and
You-
no lights
okay.
on. What
Yeah, some of this
we
stuff he showed in
evolve
film
into
production
is,
chapter.
me closing the garage door and turning the
Well, see, and there it goes a little bit further into
This is me with a flashlight panning across the bodies of the
There you
three
go.
men. This eventually shadows across
Might be in
the
too mean.
sets and their faces, obviously. It
I'm being too-
gives
am I
the
being too
scene
critical
more
about
richness,
this?
texture, and kind of a fabric to it.
I mean, I like seeing, you know, we've seen, I like seeing the behind the scenes stuff, but we've already seen these. There's the same shot of that green screen stage in LA. Same shot. I mean, I'm wondering if he thinks that people are going to watch these in segments as opposed to just all the way through. Like, oh, you know, I'd like to know more about lighting, but I don't care about anything else. So I'm just going to watch the chapter on lighting.
And try to continue that.
See, so what he's doing here with like the lighting chapter
across this
is what he should have
wall
done
of
with
kitchen
the
so
character
that she would notice the shadow before she
character
noticed
image
the actual character.
chapter.
And here, once again,
I mean,
the
even
lights
just
are on the three
momentarily, he
individuals
wouldn't have to talk
exiting
to the whole thing
building,
like he is for the majority of
rather
this
than
lighting
lighting
one.
their entire fact that I
But you're
used
feeling like I'm feeling like I'm getting value out of this
and
segment
eventually right about
again, like I did with
now,
the script
we
one
raise the
and even the
lighting
film production one.
to
Even though with this
fully
lighting one
light
there are
them
some
very
redundancies,
softly
but it
and
seems
in
like
shadow.
he's going into it just a little bit deeper. But why have that character image chapter was completely unnecessary. With considering what he did with it or what he did not do with it.
And display his character.
Yeah, but don't mention that
You're
mustache.
seen on surveillance cameras being followed by someone in a hoodie.
Very subtle. Keep it subtle. This is lighting of
Keep it
scene
subtle,
where the
Neil.
three men morph.
So that was disc 1. Oof. Boy. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop that there now. Okay. Break time.
Beards on Breen. Beards on Breen. Beards on Breen. Beards on Breen.